What's poppin'? My name is Duckhead, and today I'd like to discuss the Decisive strike buff that we will be getting in this next developer update, and I want to discuss if that is going to actually fix the issue of tunneling in Dead by Daylight. Now, first of all, let me define what fixing tunneling is for me, because I can't give like an objective definition of what a fixed issue of tunneling would be. So I'm gonna have to give a subjective definition. And my subjective definition is making it to where survivors complain about being tunneled less. So they don't make as many posts on Reddit, make as many posts on forums, message you as much and things of that nature about being tunneled, because now they have something effective that can prevent them from being tunneled. That's what my kind of fix is. So basically, the less survivors complain about tunneling, the more the issue of tunneling is fixed. So now that I've gotten that out of the way, do I think that a 5-second decisive strike is going to fix that issue of tunneling? I don't think so. And let me explain why. I think the people who complained about decisive strike being too weak and anti-tunneling tools in general being too weak, decisive strike and off the record, those specifically, I think those people had a skill issue. And I hate to say that. Please don't think that I'm trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm 100% serious. I do think that those people had a skill issue. Because if you are a survivor with basic fundamentals and you're like a not even a high level player, just a player that understands positioning, understands looping, etc., then you will make use out of decisive strike and off the record, especially if you're running them both together. Because you'll take that ball time hit off the hook, considering the killer's like right next to you and they hit you as soon as you get off the hook to get rid of your endurance stack. You'll take that endurance time and you'll run somewhere that's more opportune for you to loop. Even if you are in a dead zone, you'll take that boost that you get off the hook and you'll run somewhere, and if the killer downs you, you DS stun them, and then you start looping in that opportune place you've run to. And if you didn't understand how to do that, then that's a skill issue. And the people who were really complaining about being tunneled in Dead by Daylight, they were people who weren't skilled enough to counter it. So is an extra 2 seconds really gonna do anything for those people? Let's think about low MMR. It ain't gonna do shit for people in low MMR. If you're getting tunneled in low MMR and you have no idea what you're doing, you don't have any basic fundamentals of the game, you don't understand tiles, positioning, things of that nature, 5-second DS timer ain't gonna fucking help you. Right? That shit ain't gonna help you. And on top of that, you probably don't have Decisive Strike anyway, because that's a Laurie Strode perk. So you have to buy her, you have to get her up to Prestige 3 or whatever to get it, or Prestige 1 to get on all your characters. So you probably won't even have that perk anyway, and even if you did, you wouldn't understand how to use it. People who are in mid-tier, let's say they were complaining about anti-tunneling being too weak. If they were complaining about anti-tunneling being too weak, is an extra 2 seconds really going to save them that much? I don't know. Because I don't think that the issue of tunneling, as in people complaining about it happening to them, I don't think that's just going to go away with this. And theoretically speaking, with this whole saga that I've been in terms of anti-tunneling and, other YouTubers reacting to my content and disagreeing with me on the subject of anti-tunneling, and people in my comment section disagreeing with anti-tunneling, the notion that I got from them was that the issue of anti-tunneling being weak would be fixed if Decisive Strike was buffed back up to 5 seconds. That's the notion I got from them. So theoretically speaking, if that was the true fix to anti-tunneling being too weak, then that means that if that was one of your arguments, you can't complain about tunneling anymore. You can't, because the thing that you wanted to happen, it actually happened. Theoretically speaking, I shouldn't hear any more complaints about being tunneled. Theoretically speaking. But I don't think that that's going to happen, because the same people who are complaining about tunneling, they are still going to be tunneled, and they're not going to understand how to counter a killer tunneling them that well. They're thinking that a perk will fix that, and it won't. If you're not skilled enough at the game, it won't. Also, this is a band-aid fix. All this is an extra 2 fucking seconds. To the people who knew what they were doing, this isn't really going to do anything. It's not. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that if we really want to fix the issue of tunneling, a good place to start would be making Decisive Strike and Off the Record the two preeminent anti-tunneling perks. We need to make those vanilla game perks. So we need to make those like Resilience and We're Gonna Live Forever, to where you don't have to prestige anybody to get those perks in your blood web. If we're being real here, that would fix the issue. That would help the issue somewhat, having access to those perks. On top of that, I think that there should be incentives on the killer side, because to be honest, like, you're powerless against being tunneled. If the killer wants to tunnel you, he's gonna fucking tunnel you, and not powerless as in you can't counter it. You're powerless at like preventing a killer from actually tunneling you, because if a killer wants to tunnel you, he's going to tunnel you. So what I think is, you should give killers like incentives to where if they go after someone else other than a person who's been unhooked, then they get certain buffs. Like, for example, we have some of those incentives already, but they're in the form of perks. They're in the form of, Scorch Up Pain Resonance. It incentivizes going after different people and getting your gens to regress. And Grim Embrace, it incentivizes going after different people. So what I think you should give killers some base kit buffs if they decide to go after other people and not tunnel one person off the hook. I think that's what should happen. That would maybe help the issue a little bit, right? But I just don't think that Decisive Strike being 5 seconds is necessarily going to fucking help the issue of tunneling. As in, it's not going to make survivors stop complaining about being tunneled. I don't think. But yeah, let me know. And before I have to hear this shit, I'm a 50-50 player, because I know some of you are already getting your sweaty ass fingers together, fucking trying to type, "Duckhead, you only think this because you're a fucking killer, man. Nobody got." No, nigga. Alright? I play both sides 50-50. And on top of that, like, I'm skilled enough to use Decisive Strike in its current iteration right now with Off the Record. I will use this shit now with the extra 2 seconds. It won't really even do anything for me, because I'm already skilled enough to use fucking anti-tunneling in its current iteration as a survivor. And as a killer, I'm not fucking retarded. I'm not finna tunnel you. I'm not finna tunnel a survivor out of the game as soon as they get off the hook. I'm not gonna try and do that, because that's the easiest way to get your ass run for 5 gens, and then they get a 3-man out, you kill one person. That's the easiest way to make that shit happen, right? The only time I will tunnel a survivor as a killer is if I see you touch something you ain't got no business fucking touching. If you touch your fucking self with a med kit, if you touch somebody else trying to heal them, if you touch a generator, or if you touch a totem, then I will tunnel the fuck out of you, because I know that it's free. It's fucking free, right? So I don't want to hear, "Decade, you're a killer, mate." Fucking shut your ass up. Alright, don't even say that shit. But anyway, just let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you think that this is going to fix the issue of tunneling? Let me know in the comment section down below. And what would you do to fix the issue of tunneling? Do you even think tunneling is an issue in this game? Let me know. Anyway, I'm out this bitch. Y'all have a good one. Bye. Gone. Also, wait, before I go, I know some people are going to bring up, oh, what about Nurse, Spirit, Blight? Duckhead, you thought that 3 seconds was enough for Nurse, Spirit, and Blight? 5 seconds isn't enough for Nurse, Spirit, or Blight. Alright? Those are high tier killers. They ignore shit in the game. They ignore fucking physics in the game. Alright? So you can't really use them. You kind of have to go in a general. I'm talking about killers in a general sense. Because those 3 killers, doesn't matter how high that DS timer is, they're going to catch back up to you and they're going to beat your ass expeditiously. Alright? So before I had to hear that shit, high tier killers, they ignore this shit regardless, whatever the fucking DS timer is on.
Rising up, back on the street, did my time.